Hi, I'm Mark Makovec, the executive chef of our cooking school, and I'm going to show you how to make a turkey chili. A little bit different alternative than a ground beef chili, but I'm going to show you how to change that up a little bit given your preference. So I'm going to grab some fresh turkey here. It's food you feel good about, which is raised with no antibiotics or no hormones, which I feel good about. And I've got a couple more things to grab, so come on. All right, in my chili, I always have peppers and onions. The nice thing about these cleaned and cut version is I don't have to do the work myself. It's already done, and the onions are certified cry-free. As a chef, I always make my own chicken stock, but tonight, you know what, I just don't have the time. So I'm gonna use our chicken culinary stock, which is nice because it's not loaded down with a lot of sodium, so I can add whatever I feel. For most versions of chili, except for maybe the creamy white ones, we're going to use tomatoes in them. And for this one, I'm going to go for the texture of this diced tomato. I think that's everything I need, so let's go cook. All right, turkey chili. You caught me towards the end of the browning phase of this. This is a real important step. I've taken the 2 pounds of turkey, and because it's turkey, it needs a little bit more flavor, and we're going to get that from caramelizing it. You not only want to bring it till it's fully cooked, but you also want to get it till it starts to caramelize on there, starts to develop what we call a fond, mean those brown little bits on the bottom, and that's what we have right here. At that point, we're going to add some of our aromatics, which are very typical to a chili. And again, if you want to make this thing your own, you can switch up some of those ingredients. But today, I'm going to use a chili powder. Today, we've got a Mexican chili powder. I've got some cumin and some cloves. All these very common to a chili. A lot of people like to add, say, a chocolate to the end, so I might add a little bit of cocoa powder to that. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to add the cumin, the chili powder, and the cloves. The next thing I'm going to add, very typical of a chili, is garlic. And I've got 12 cloves of garlic here that are just chopped. I'm going to add that to it. And add some bay leaves. I've got 2 dried bay leaves, and this recipe calls for 2 dried or 6 fresh bay leaves, so you can find in the produce department. For a little bit of sodium, I've got some soy sauce and some Worcestershire sauce. That goes in. Again, all these very typical flavors, and feel free if you wanted to add a little bit of heat to this. I might add a little bit of chili powder, a different chili powder if you wanted to, or some crushed red pepper, maybe some cayenne into that would be great. Maybe your favorite hot sauce at that point. So I add that in, and now's probably a good time to show you how to cut a pepper, which I have here. I have to actually cut 1 red pepper for this. The green pepper and the onions are already done for me. I take a red pepper and I cut off the top. Move this to the side and cut off the bottom. This is going to make a nice even dice, and you're going to see we're not going to waste a lot of pepper here. In order to get that middle out, I take 1 cut and it removes that rib already. And then next, I lay that flat on the board. Again, flat on the board, and once again flat, so that when this is removed, it removes just the seeds and the core, and that's ready to go. And all this is usable pepper. You didn't waste anything. And I take the pepper and make a dice, and if you're going to make a 1/4-inch dice, I make all of these 1/4-inch slices first, and then go line those up and cut across to make a 1/4-inch dice. I'm going to do the same thing with the whole rest of the pepper. At this point, I add all the peppers to the dish. Those are your cut up peppers, the 1 pepper here, and I add my other red pepper, already done. Get this off the board. And you're going to cook these for probably 4 or 5 minutes just to start wilting the vegetables a little bit. You're going to get some of those flavors out of the cloves and the chili powder. Those herbs start to bloom a little bit. You're going to start to smell some of those aromatics. Stir this up. You're going to cook this just a little bit until those vegetables start to soften. And then the next thing I add is my 2 cans of the diced tomatoes. Again, if you're making a chili yourself, you can add a tomato puree at this point, perhaps some chili sauce. This one we're using the diced tomatoes. And then I'm using the Great Northern beans. These are rinsed and drained. Right? The last thing I'm going to add to this is that 1 quart, which is 1 box, of the chicken culinary stock. I'm going to bring this up to a simmer, and that's going to cook for about 45 minutes, like I have right here. All that's left on this one is to plate it up. And I've got a big bowl here. The game is about ready to start. The only thing I make sure I have when I'm doing this chili is I always make sure that I have a nice piece of cornbread so I can sop this up.